Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am your famous, friendly, family favorite fantasy football guy. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the Friday night matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. This should be an exciting game. It's going to be played in Brazil. From my understanding, it's the first game ever played in South America for the NFL. It's going to be a YouTube thing, so keep that in mind. I think you might be able to watch it on NFL Network or the NFL app or something. But let's get started. We're going to break down Ladd McConkey, and he only played in one game against the Chiefs last year. Week 14, he had a knee and shoulder injury. He did not play. In Week 4, he got 17.7 points against them. So that was a pretty decent game. The Chiefs were ranked 17th against the wide receiver and 17th against the pass last year. So I will say Ladd McConkey is the highest salaried player in this game, even over Patrick Mahomes, who we will break down now. Patrick Mahomes in Week 14 got 14.1 points. So okay game, but not really that great for Patrick Mahomes. In Week 4, he only got 14 points. So the Chargers were really able to hold their own against Patrick Mahomes. I do expect him to be one of the highest scoring players in this game, but I think I would have to agree with DraftKings on this. I think that Ladd McConkey has the potential to outscore Patrick Mahomes in this game if it's anything like last year. Looking at Justin Herbert in those two games, in Week 14, he had 13.72 points. In Week 4, he only had 11.16 points. So not really doing that much against the Chiefs. It's not awful. He was in double digits. Chiefs ranked 22nd against the quarterback and 17th against the pass. Again, that was last year, but that's what we have to go on right now for this year. So now looking at Xavier Worthy. So in Week 14, he got 9.6 points. In Week 4, he got 16.3 points. So he definitely did better in that first game, which happened to be the same game that Rashid Rice went out with an injury. Rashid Rice still is not back and won't be until Week 7 because he broke the NFL's personal conduct policy. So right now, your guy is Xavier Worthy as the number one receiver. Let's go ahead and look at Travis Kelce. In Week 14, he got 9.5 points. Pretty respectable, but you would expect more, honestly, from Travis Kelce. But decent for a tight end. He got 15.9 points in Week 4, so he did a little bit better. The Chargers ranked 6th against tight ends. So they're pretty solid against the tight end, to be honest with you. But Travis Kelce, well, he's Travis Kelce. Omarion Hampton, showing some extreme promise. DraftKings, for some reason, has him listed as the number one running back on their team, but it's actually Najee Harris. Coach Harbaugh came out and said that Najee Harris was going to start in Week 1 in this game. So, but they should both get plenty of playing time. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for him. The Chiefs were second against the running back position last year. They were 10th against the rush. And the Chargers don't have Rashawn Slater, their offensive tackle. He is out for the season with an injury. So that does not help their running backs at all. Now the running backs in red, you've got Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, who we'll get to later. But Isaiah Pacheco in Week 14 got 8.1 fantasy points against the Chargers. He didn't play in the first game against them due to an injury. But in that second game, he did see 4 targets. He only caught 2 of them. But keep that in mind when you're making your lineups because I think he could get some more targets this week. Now we're going to look at Keenan Allen, who has found his way back to Los Angeles. He's coming into the season off of an injury, so there might be a little bit of rust there. But the pressure's kind of off of him with Ladd coming in and taking that number one receiver spot. But Keenan Allen is a proven wide receiver in the league. He's a veteran, and he is a very good football player. So I wouldn't count him out. Keep him in mind when you're picking your players in your lineups this week. Now we're going to look at a player who did not play a lot last year, because he was injured. He did get to play a few games at the end of the season, but he did not produce a whole lot in those games. We're going to look at Hollywood Brown. He's known for his speed, and we know how Patrick Mahomes likes to throw to fast receivers, and he's really good at it. So the combination between these two guys could be really good this week. We're just going to have to see how they can hold up against the pass rush from the Chargers. I will say Joey Bosa is no longer on the Chargers, so that could really change the matchup between these two rivals when they're playing this year. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to look at Quentin Johnson, who had 15.8 points in the Week 14 matchup last year, and he had 2.3 in Week 4. So not so good in Week 4. Pretty decent in that second matchup. I think he could be a good play this week. Moving on to kickers, Cameron Dicker. Week 14, he had 5 fantasy points. Week 4, he had 6. So that's not really a game-changing factor in a showdown slate. So probably not going to be putting Dicker in my lineup this week. All right, moving on to Harrison Butker. He actually had surgery on his meniscus, so he was not able to play in that Week 14 game last year against the Chargers. He did play in Week 4, and he only got 5 points in that game. I personally think that we could see pretty much the same coming from the kickers this year in these games. I think it's going to be more of a shootout than anything else. With that said, it's going to take the defenses to keep the damage from the shootouts minimal. And looking at Week 14 of last year for the Chiefs, they got 4 fantasy points. Week 4, they got 6 fantasy points. So I'm looking for more in a showdown from my defense. They probably played better in reality than they did fantasy-wise. I'm not really sure. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the Chargers. I don't think it was much different. They actually got 4 points in Week 14 as well, and they got in Week 4 8 points. So 8 points, that's not terrible for a defense, but I don't know that it's enough that it makes me want to put them in my lineup on a showdown slate. There's just a few other players that I think I would rather play instead of the defenses this week, which is different than our last showdown match where I did play the Eagles defense. But I think some of the other players have more potential this week. Looking at Kareem Hunt, he had 3.9 points in Week 14 and 10.5 points in Week 4. He did better in Week 4, but I believe that's a game that Pacheco was not in, so that probably was the factor in that. So we're going to move ahead now. Look at some of these other players. We have Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he could be a guy that gets that touchdown pass in a showdown match that could win you the game. I mean, it could win your lineup, just because you're gonna have to change it up somehow. And I don't think a lot of people will have him. I don't think he'll be as chalky, but he is a good player. People are going to pick him. You also have Will Dissly. He had 3.9 fantasy points in Week 14. In Week 4, he had 4.4. And the Chiefs are ranked 26th, at least last year, against the tight end. But they also have Tyler Conklin there now in Los Angeles, and I think he also can catch some passes. So I think they're both probably going to get some work. So I think either of those guys you could put in your lineup. They could catch that touchdown pass and make the difference in your lineup. But that's really up to you. I think like I said, I think they can both catch balls for sure. Looking at the rest of the slate here, guys, there's not really too many guys that I feel super comfortable picking. Maybe a Noah Gray. Noah Gray, there are games where he just kind of goes off a little bit. He's proven that Travis Kelce's not the only tight end in Kansas City. Noah Gray, I think, is another guy that you could throw in your lineup. He could be a game changer. get that touchdown pass, maybe even two. I'm pretty sure there's been an occasion or two where he's caught 2 touchdown passes in a game. So he could be a guy to change things up for your lineup. But I'm not really seeing anyone else down here, guys, that I really trust a whole lot. So I'm going to go ahead and call that a show. I appreciate you guys watching. I will be posting here soon for the Sunday slate. I'm excited about it because I'm ready to get to a classic slate instead of showdown mode. But I appreciate you guys again. Thank you so much. Leave your comments in the comment section.